Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Karkadash. Double honor to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. Shalom to the hope of righteous remnant of Israel, not been only hearers of the word, but doers also. This is the brother Yarmaya Ba coming to you with a hopefully edifying, well-restored lesson. You know, I just wanted to speak on how there's always a way out, man. You know, the Lord, He's not gonna not deliver you, man. You know, you gotta believe on Him, man. Because these people out here, man, when all this really cracks, man, you know, they're not going to be delivered out of that, man. And if they are, they're going to be delivered to a worse situation, man. You know? But you got to think about, even like if you think back into the world or whatever, before you even came to the truth, there's situations you think back on, you be like, damn, the Lord delivered me, man. The Lord dealt. You know? Because if the Lord never dealt, He never delivered you, then you wouldn't be watching this video right now. You know? The Lord, Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, the Lord said He knew thee in the womb, man. You know, I want to get that real quick. Jeremiah 1 and 5. It's like Jeremiah chapter 1 and 5. Before I formed thee in the belly, I knew thee. And before thou camest forth out of the womb, I sanctified thee, and I ordained thee a prophet unto the nations. You know, the Lord knew us in the belly, man. You know, but hey, if we're a prophet in this life, we're a believer in this life, that means you were a believer in your last life, man. You know? Because ultimately, we're all going to be back in our lots, man. You know, Revelation 22 and 11, he that is unjust, let him be unjust still. And he which is filthy, let him be filthy still. And he that is righteous, let him be righteous still. And he that is holy, let him be holy still. Just to prove that we're going to be, we're back in our lots, man. And since it's not the last end yet, man, we don't know, man. Because if you're a 2/3, you're going to be doing everything up until whatever you do. It doesn't matter what you do. You're going to be a 2/3 at the end of the day. And it doesn't, if you're a part of the elect, it doesn't matter what you do. You're not going to make yourself a part of the elect, man. You know, you can't do that, man. If you're a part of the elect, it doesn't matter what you do. You're gonna be saved, man. You know, and that's why we have to believe, man. You got to believe and have faith on it, man. Because Sirach 2 and 10, look at the generations of old and see, did ever any trust in the Lord and was confounded, or did any abide in His fear and was forsaken, or whom did He ever despise that called upon Him, man? You know, it's not one, man. You gotta trust in Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. You gotta trust that He's the deliverer, man. You know, He is. You gotta believe on Him until the last end, man. Because Scripture say wisdom and knowledge will be the stability of that time, man. And the fear of the Lord is His treasure, man. I want to get that real quick. I just had it. Here we go. Because ultimately, these people won't have stability, man. They won't have wisdom and knowledge, man. They gonna be out here getting torn through to and fro, man. Isaiah 33 and 6, and wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times, and the strength of salvation. The fear of the Lord is His treasure, man. You know, that's a treasure, man. You hold it close, man. And you pray for more fear. You pray for more faith, man. Because it's all we gonna really have, man. You know? Everything, let's say you get put in the middle of the desert right now, all you gonna really have is trust and fear of the Lord, man. You gotta believe in the Lord, man. You gotta trust that He's gonna deliver you. You gotta believe that, man. Because these people are, like, again, these people are not gonna be delivered out here, man. Because they don't have faith. They don't have trust. They don't believe in Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. They don't believe that they're gonna be delivered, man. They don't believe that the Lord can save you from anything, man. Job 5 and 19, He shall deliver thee in 6 troubles. In 7 there shall no evil touch thee, man. You know? The Lord is gonna protect His man, man. He's gonna send angels to protect His man. You know, to protect His elect. You know? That's how it always been, man. You can even look at the accounts in the Scriptures, man. Even when Daniel was in the lion's den, man. You know, it's just a multiple accounts, man. A lot of accounts, man. And it's all written for our learning, man. It increases our faith when we read these, man. That's another thing to read. You gotta read, man. You have to read, man. To see these accounts. To see how it went, man. To see what they did. And that's how even the 3 holy children, when they got thrown in the furnace, the fire, the first thing they did was pray. You know, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, the first thing they did was pray, man. And they weren't burned, man. And they turned it up before they threw them in there, and they weren't touched, man. But then when they got out, and the other niggas got thrown in, they burned up instantly. So you gotta believe, you gotta have faith, man. You gotta trust on him, man. It's accounts like that, like, you know, you gotta really be in the spirit, man. You get thrown in the fire, the first thing you but the first thing they did was pray, man. You gotta believe and be strong in the faith of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, man. Because it's all we have, man. 1 Corinthians 10:13, there hath no temptation taken you, but such as is common to man, but Yahweh is faithful, who will not suffer you to be tempted above that ye are able. So the Lord's not going to put nothing on you that you can't handle, man. He's not going to put nothing on you that you won't be able to bear, man. You know, continuing, but will with the temptation also make a way to escape, that ye may be able to bear it, man. He's going to give you a way to escape, man. The Lord doesn't force nobody to sin, man. You know, you gotta, he makes a way out. There's a way out, man. There's always going to be a way out, man. And even if it takes, Scripture say, be not hasty when I change to a lower state, man. You know, calm down. Think, let wisdom meet your thoughts, man. Think in the spirit, man. You know, don't be so quick to be carnal, man. Because at the end of the day, all these people are carnal. The natural man does not receive the things of the spirit, man. What we're going to see out here is going to be very, very carnal, savage, and just, it's going to be straight out of a movie, man. But worse. All right, we're talking about the last good whooping before the kingdom is established, man. We talk about the last good, you know, throwdown before Israel is in the kingdom, man. You know, before Yahweh Shai comes back, man. You have to think about how grand it has to be, man. You know, we're going to be talking about the salvation from here more than we're going to be talking about the salvation from Egypt, man. Because that's how great it's going to be. That's how crazy it's going to be out here, man. You know? So we just rejoice in knowing that, hey, this is the last captivity, man. Give it all I got. Give it all you got, man. Trust in Yahweh, Shem Yahweh Shai, give it all you got, man. Yeah, we go through trial. Hey, the scripture say, hey, little, so, I might be paraphrasing wrong. Nah. Damn, I can't think of the scripture. Lord willing, pop back up to my mind, but you know, basically, we won't go through that much to get to the kingdom of heaven, because we think about the things we go through. It's not as much as we could be going through to get to the kingdom of heaven, man. You know, Scripture say through much trials and tribulations we enter into the kingdom of heaven, man. The Lord is gonna try you. And the Scripture say, prove thyself a friend, man. Yahweh Shai called us friends, man. He has to prove us, man. Put us in situations where we have to believe in him. Put in situations where we have to trust in him. You know? And you got to pass your test, man. And if you don't, the Lord just going to keep throwing it back at you. You're going to be put in the same situation like, damn, why am I back in this? But you can pass the first one. You know? And that's how it's gonna go, because the Lord, a acceptable men are made in the furnace of adversity, man. You know? We're going to go through these things, but ultimately everything we go through is building us up. It's going to build us up. Rebukes, man. Build you up. Chastising. Build you up. Matter of fact, no chastising in the present, you know, seem to be joyous, bro. Because it doesn't feel good at the moment, but ultimately it's going to work your faith. It's going to make you, it's going to even out your stats, you could say. It's going to increase your attributes, man. You know, you go to fighting games, and you fight, and you get level up points, skill points, whatever, and you level up a certain skill. That's really what it is. Hebrews 12:11. Now no chastising for the present seems to be joyous, but grievous. Nevertheless, afterward it yieldeth the peaceable fruit of righteousness unto them which are exercised thereby. It wills the peaceable fruit of righteousness, man. You know? And I want to go back. I want to read this again. I want to read the top verse again. Now, no chastising for the present seemed to be joyous, but grievous. Nevertheless, after it yielded the peaceable fruit of righteousness unto them which are exercised thereby. It doesn't seem joyous in the moment. It seems like, damn, why am I going through this? Whoa, why am I going through? I just went through an affliction, man. It was really bad, man. I couldn't even move. I couldn't even take one step, man. It took me 6 minutes to take one step. That's how bad it was, man. But ultimately, I learned how to I learned new things, man. I started picking up different hobbies since I wasn't able to move, man. I started thinking more. I started appreciating more. I started thanking the Lord more. I started reading more. It doesn't seem joyous, but it's going to work peaceful fruits of righteousness, man. When you go through things, take it as something that could build you up. Don't take stuff like, oh man, I'm going through this, man. I just want to get out of this. Oh, I just want to get out of it. Nah, man. The Lord put you there for a reason. Figure out why He put you there. Figure out what you need to be doing, man. I was sitting down like, damn, bro, I can't do anything, bro. But you got to think about what were you doing when you did have the ability to do. Like, damn, yeah, I wasn't doing that. Yeah, I could have been doing more of this. Yeah, and you just start thinking, man. You start examining yourself, as the scriptures tell us to do, man. Examine yourself whether you be in the faith, man. So it's just things like that, that just makes you appreciate Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. Because look, these people, I want to read this real quick. They shall go through. I think I'm paraphrasing this wrong. Because basically, these people are going to go through shit. And they're going through it in vain. These people are going to go through shit and just die. But when Lord willing, we are part of that number. We go through shit and it's going to work peaceful foods and we're going to get salvation, man. 2 Ezra 7:18. Nevertheless, the righteous shall suffer straight things and hope for why. For they that have done wickedly have suffered the straight things and yet shall not see the why, man. These people are not gonna get salvation and all the shit they go through, man. These people finna go through hell, man. You either go suffer in the faith or you go suffer as a 2/3, man. But I didn't want to drag this lesson out long. Lord willing, the flock was edified. With that, God praise and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Kakadash.